My 35-year-old female father, 68-year-old male, moved to a different country 8 years ago. He tries to visit whenever he can, and I try to help him have as much of a relationship with my children, 9-year-old male, 5-year-old female and baby girl, as possible. Whenever he visits, however, he tends to act a bit entitled. He either sleeps or hangs out with his old friends in the mornings and afternoons, doesn't help me with anything I ask him to, and then gets annoyed when he wants to do something at 9 p.m. and the kids are too tired. His excuses are always that he's exhausted from travelling and deserves to get some rest and spend time with friends he never gets to see anymore. My kids are always excited when my dad visits, but at this point, they see him more when he's FaceTiming us from a different hemisphere than when he's staying in our guest room. Anyway, he's visiting us now to meet my youngest daughter, who was born in September. He got here 2 weeks ago and will fly back home in a few days. I've been trying to get him to spend more time with my kids this time around, but he still goes out a lot. My older daughter had her first ever school play on Saturday. She was really excited about it and invited my father. He promised her he'd come. The day before the play, my father went out with his friends and didn't come back until 3 a.m. The play started at 11 a.m. and we had to get there 30 minutes earlier. In total, he must have gotten about 6 hours of sleep. When we, my dad, my husband, my son and I, got there, we sat in one of the first rows. My daughter had asked us to. The play was 40 minutes long. My father fell asleep less than 15 minutes in. I woke him up, he slept again. He snores loudly when he sleeps, so I kept waking him up whenever he slept. Near the end of the play, I was too late to wake him, and he let out a snore that was so loud that some of the kids on the stage looked over at us. At that, I hit his arm a little harder, and he didn't fall back asleep. My husband and I haven't mentioned anything to my daughter, but it's obvious she noticed. She was heartbroken after the play and dismissed any of our attempts to talk about it. My husband filmed the play for my mom and stepdad, who were with our baby during it. Instantly after the play, my dad asked if he could have the video too, since he didn't watch most of the play. We're not sharing it with him. I told him that he had the opportunity to watch it live and instead ruined the experience for all of us, especially my daughter. He doesn't deserve to watch what he missed just because he decided to stay out late the night before. My dad's pissed. He's telling me and my husband that we're robbing him of his role in my daughter's life. He also maintains the excuse that he was exhausted during the play and needed to get some rest. I really don't think we're the AH, but with how tense things have been getting, it might be easier to just let him watch the video. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. Rip, Van Winkle can get over himself. He's either a grandparent or he isn't. He doesn't get to party with the boys until 3 a.m. and then expect to be catered to. Comment 2. He'd fall asleep watching the video. He only wants to ASK for it, so he can somehow appease himself that he's really grandfathering. Now, for the update. It's been a rough month since the play incident. My dad went back home shortly after and we haven't spoken much. The tension from that day just seemed to linger. I tried to shake it off, but it felt like the air had been sucked out of our relationship. Last week things took a turn for the worse. My daughter, still hurt by what happened, had been keeping a distance from her grandpa, even on calls. And my dad, well, he's not one to reach out and apologise. The silence stretched on until my sister called. Dad had a stroke. It's one of those moments where the world just stops spinning. Suddenly nothing else mattered. We've been on video calls with the hospital, but with him being overseas and with the pandemic, it's not like we can just hop on a flight. He's stable but hasn't regained his speech, and watching him struggle has been a knife to the heart. My daughter's been asking if Grandpa will ever come to her school plays again, and I don't even know what to tell her. My husband, bless him, has been a rock through this, handling the calls when I can't keep it together. My dad hasn't seen the play video. It feels so trivial now, but there's a part of me that wishes we had just sent it to him. Maybe it could have been a bridge instead of another brick in the wall between us. I'm afraid we waited too long, that he might never get the chance to see it, to be part of those little moments that make up for the lost time. I'm just here, stuck in this hollow feeling of regret, wishing for a do-over I know I'll never get. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You're dealing with a complex family dynamic, and the pandemic restrictions aren't your fault. It's natural to feel regret, but you can't blame yourself for not sending a video when there's a whole history there. Plus, you're respecting your daughter's feelings toward her grandfather, which is important. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Despite the history with your dad, not sending a video of your daughter's play seems petty. It was a chance to mend fences, and you chose to withhold a simple joy that could have meant the world to him. Sometimes you have to be the bigger person, especially when someone's health is declining. Comment 3. Not the idiot. You can't control the pandemic or the distance. It's tough, but sometimes life throws these curveballs. You're dealing with the emotional fallout the best you can, and it's not fair to shoulder all the blame for the strained relationship. Regret is part of being human, but it doesn't define your actions. Now, for the next story. 17 and 14. Youngest has friends. I will try to keep this short. My younger sister is 3 years younger than my oldest sister Sam. Sam doesn't like her youngest sister, and it's to the point where I don't think she would help in any setting. It's quite sad, and I know the cause of it. My youngest sister will copy everything she does and not give her any space. At this point, she is a mini Sam, and I know Sam hates it. It also doesn't help that my youngest sister doesn't have a large friend group, so she is bothering Sam at school. The biggest thing this year was her copying the electives Sam was taking, and now they have one class together. It's a problem, and the relationship is getting worse. I have talked to my youngest sister and even made her stay away at home, but I can't stop her at school. Sam has a good relationship with me and her dad, just not her sister, and she has made it very clear to the whole family why she doesn't like her younger sister. Today, my youngest sister came home and was upset that her sister didn't want to work with her on a school project. She was ranting and didn't understand why they don't have a bond. I told her I've explained this a million times, but she dislikes you since you won't leave her alone. That you will never have a good bond if you don't stop copying her and actually become your own person. She started crying, and my husband says I'm too harsh. They both think I'm a jerk besides Sam. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot, and I would get therapy for the younger, and put a note in with the school that she's not allowed to take the same class as the older. Is it Sam's last year? Is there an option to graduate early and go to college early? Now, for the update, all right, buckle up, because the last 2 weeks have been a wild ride in our household. You remember how I told you about my sister Sam and the mini-me she never wanted? Well, things escalated, rapidly. 2 days after I last posted, mini-me, let's call her Alex to make things easier, decided to pull the ultimate copycat move. She dyed her hair the exact shade of purple as Sam. But here's the twist, she had an allergic reaction. It was bad, like her face swelled up and we had to rush her to the ER. Sam, who initially was furious, was scared out of her mind for Alex. Nothing like a health scare to force a ceasefire. While Alex was recovering, she's okay now, thank goodness. Sam actually spent time with her. They talked a lot, mostly because Alex couldn't go anywhere and Sam felt guilty about her initial reaction. It turned out that Alex admitted to feeling lost and overshadowed by Sam's strong personality, hence the imitation game. But wait, there's more. During this bonding time, they discovered that they both were crushing on the same guy at school. Classic, right? Well, this revelation didn't go over smoothly. There was a huge argument, and I mean it was a showdown that would put reality TV to shame. Things settled when they uncovered that Mr. Popular was actually playing them against each other. He'd been bragging to his buddies about 2 sisters pining over him. Gross. This mutual enemy united them in a way I never could have imagined. They hatched a plan to expose this guy's slimy behavior. It was like watching a teen movie plot unfold in my own living room. They gathered evidence, rallied a bunch of their friends, and managed to get the guy to publicly admit he was being a total jerk. It was epic, and as a result, their social standing at school somehow skyrocketed. Now here's the heart dropper. During this chaos, our dad got a promotion, which means we're moving. Sam and Alex, now closer than ever, are devastated. They've finally found common ground, and it feels like it's being ripped away. But in a strange twist of fate, this move has given Alex a chance to reinvent herself. She's talking about exploring new hobbies and styles that are all her own when we move. Sam's been helping her brainstorm. It's like watching a total 180-degree turn here. 2 weeks ago, they could barely stand each other. Now they're teaming up like some dynamic duo, taking down jerks and planning a fresh start. It's like I'm living in a soap opera, but a surprisingly wholesome one considering how it started. Now for the comments. Comment 1, not the idiot. Honestly, it sounds like you and your sister turned a pretty rough situation into something positive. It's not your fault you both fell for the same guy, and it's kinda awesome how you teamed up to expose him. Moving sucks, but it's cool to see you helping each other out. Life throws curveballs and you're just making the best of it. Comment 2. You're the idiot for getting angry at your sister for something as trivial as dyeing her hair. Sure, it might be annoying, but it's just hair and her allergic reaction should have been a wake-up call to be more compassionate. It's good that you made up and dealt with the guy together, but you should be more understanding from the get-go, especially with family. Comment 3. Not the idiot at all. You've been through a roller coaster, but the way you and your sister handled the situation with that guy was legendary. Plus, moving is tough, but it's heartwarming to see you supporting each other. It's a rare thing to see siblings turn a feud into a friendship. Keep that bond strong. Now, for the next story. I'm still getting different answers from family, so I decided to put it on here. I, 42-year-old male, have a daughter, 15 years old. Her mum, my wife, passed away 4 years ago, so it's just been my daughter and me. My daughter is in the early stages of her eating disorder recovery. A thing with eating disorder recovery is that a lot of people have safe foods. My daughter's 2 main safe foods are popcorn and chicken breast, and she'll always eat those. Well, on Thanksgiving, we always go to my mum's. Considering my daughter is pretty early in recovery, we weren't going like usual. I knew if I took her it would be a disaster, so I asked my mum if I could grab a plate for myself. When I went to grab it on Thanksgiving, my mum asked what my daughter was having. At this point, if my daughter would eat, I'll let her eat anything, and she wanted popcorn and chicken. So I told my mum that's what she's going to be eating. My mum acted very shocked and upset. I told her she was going to eat those foods because I'd rather her eat than not eat. My mum said, "But it's Thanksgiving." I tried explaining again how all I want at this point is for my daughter to eat. I'll let her eat whatever she wants. I got called an arsehole by several family members for not feeding my kid properly. So am I the idiot? Am I the jerk? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. My mum said, "But it's Thanksgiving and she should be thankful your daughter is making a recovery on her ED. You've got your daughter's back and she's willing to eat. That's all that matters." Comment 2, what type of idiot puts feelings about tradition above managing an eating disorder? Your relatives are chumps, not the idiot, and good luck supporting your kid, OP. Comment 3, not the idiot. You're doing the best you can with what you've got. Anyone who can't be bothered to understand is an AH. Now for the update. So, things escalated pretty quickly after Thanksgiving. I was not prepared for the chain reaction that all of this would set off. The day after Thanksgiving, my daughter disclosed to her therapist that the tension at dinner had significantly increased her anxiety around food. I felt like I'd failed her by not creating a safe enough environment. Her therapist, who's been guiding us through this recovery journey, suggested an emergency family session to address the toxicity and educate the family. We set up the session, and I invited everyone who was at Thanksgiving dinner. To my surprise, everyone agreed to come. I think they realized the gravity of the situation after seeing the fallout. The session was intense. My daughter bravely expressed her feelings, and her therapist did an incredible job mediating. There were tears, there were moments of understanding, and there were apologies, especially from my mother. But here's where it gets wild. My sister, who'd been one of the main critics, broke down and confessed that she'd been struggling with an eating disorder herself for years. She'd hidden it because of the same family dynamics we were trying to address for my daughter. That was a bombshell. It completely shifted the family's perspective, and suddenly there was this outpouring of support for both of them. Fast forward a week, and we've started to implement a family-wide plan. Everyone is pitching in with meal prep and ensuring that there are always safe food options available for my daughter, and now for my sister too. We've decided to start a new tradition of weekly family dinners, where the focus is on being together rather than what's on the table. The biggest shock came just a couple of days ago. My ex-wife, who's been pretty hands-off with our daughter's recovery, called me out of the blue. She'd heard about the family therapy session from our daughter and wanted to be involved. She admitted that she's been in denial about the severity of our daughter's disorder and is now committed to co-parenting more effectively. We're setting up a schedule for her to attend therapy sessions with us. In a strange twist, it feels like this whole ordeal has pulled my fractured family closer together. We're all learning, growing, and most importantly, showing up for my daughter and my sister in ways we never have before. It's still a tough road ahead, but I'm cautiously optimistic that we're moving in the right direction. Now for the comments. Comment 1. No idiots here. It's tough when family dynamics collide with health issues, but it sounds like everyone is trying their best now. The therapist intervention was a game changer, and it's great to hear that the family is unifying to support the daughter and sister. Weekly dinners focused on togetherness rather than just food are a fantastic idea. It's a journey, but it seems like you're all on the right path. Comment 2. You're the idiot for letting it get to the point where a therapist had to intervene. As a parent, you should have been more attentive to the signs of your daughter's anxiety and taken steps to address the family's approach to meals and support. It shouldn't take a crisis for a family to come together and make everyone feel safe and heard. However, it's good that you're now making an effort to improve the situation. Comment 3. Not the idiot. The important thing is that the family is taking steps to address the issues now. It's impressive that the ex-wife is stepping up for co-parenting and that everyone is committed to change. Mental health can be a tricky road to navigate, and the fact that you're all working together, attending therapy, and adapting family traditions is commendable. Keep it up. Now, for the next story. Me and my boyfriend have been together for over 5 years. His mother lives in another country, so in the span of 5 years, I have seen her 4 times. When the argument happened, it was the 5th time. She came to our house and we started talking. My boyfriend was at work, and I work as a paramedic, so I was free today. It was a normal talk. We talked about life and everything. We are not like best friends. We never had any argument. We were just calmly talking, and I never had a feeling that she thinks of me badly. As our talking progressed, she suddenly told me that her son wants to propose to me, and he talked with her. I didn't even know that he wanted to propose, so it was a surprise. I asked her if that was true, and maybe he wanted to keep that a secret. She said that it was okay, but she wouldn't want to see us getting married. This caught me off guard, so I asked her what she meant by that. And without any hesitation, and with a smile on her face, she said, "Oh, I think my son can do better and find someone who is his match." My jaw dropped. I looked at her like a deer in headlights, so she quickly started to say, "Oh, but you are great too. It's okay if you stay together." This pissed me off even more, and I started to argue with her. I was saying that she is crazy for thinking that, how dare she? And after some time, I just said that she needs to leave, and she did. But before leaving, she said, "I was right about you from the start. My son is making a mistake," and left. I was so mad that I was even shaking. We never argued with her, and I thought we had an okay relationship, but she decided to say that. After some time, I got a call from my boyfriend's grandma, his mother's mother, about how dare I to do this and why I was like this. I told her about everything, but she still said I had no right to kick her out of my and my boyfriend's house. So am I the a-hole for kicking her out? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your BF needs to have a discussion with his mother and grandmother after he gets home this evening and talks to you first. You shouldn't take calls from them in the meantime. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Have you talked with your BF already? He should be pissed with her. Not only she said those awful things to you, in your house, but even spoiled the surprise. Comment 3. Stop taking calls from his family and have a long sit-down discussion with your BF, not the idiot. Now, for the update, I wanted to come back here and share what's happened since my last post. It's been a whirlwind, but I think it's the kind of update that deserves to be shared, especially for those who might find themselves in a similar situation. After the fallout, my boyfriend and I had some deep conversations about our relationship, his mother, and where we were headed. He was upset at first, feeling caught in the middle, but he understood why I reacted the way I did. We decided to seek couples counselling to navigate the complexities of blending our lives in the face of family disapproval. It's been incredibly helpful. A few months into counselling, my boyfriend arranged a weekend getaway for us. I didn't know at the time, but he had been planning to propose. On a quiet evening, overlooking a serene lake, he asked me to marry him. Without any hesitation, I said yes. It was heartfelt and private, just the two of us, which was perfect given everything that had happened. Now for the part that truly warmed my heart. His mother reached out to us after hearing about the engagement. She requested a video call, and I won't lie, I was hesitant, but I agreed, knowing it was important to him. During the call, she surprised us both. She apologized, explaining that she had been afraid of losing her son to a new family and had let that fear cloud her judgment. It was emotional, with all of us shedding a few tears. She asked for forgiveness and expressed a desire to be a part of our lives, including the wedding planning. I could see the relief and happiness in my boyfriend's eyes, and I knew this was a step toward healing. We've had a few more calls since then, and while I wouldn't say everything is perfect, it's a start. His grandmother even sent me a handwritten letter thanking me for being understanding and helping to mend the family ties. It's strange how life works out sometimes. I never expected any of this when I made my original post, but I'm grateful for where we are now. Love, understanding, and a little bit of counselling can go a long way in healing old wounds. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You did what was best for your relationship by going to counselling, and it's great to hear that it paid off. It's about the two of you, not the family. If his mom is genuinely trying to make amends, then it's a win-win. Keep your boundaries, but it sounds like you're handling it with grace. Comment 2. You're the idiot for just brushing off the past. You can't just forget how his family treated you. Accepting an apology doesn't mean they've changed. Watch your back and make sure this isn't some ploy to take over the wedding plans or manipulate your fiancé. Tread carefully. Comment 3. Not the idiot, love conquers all. You guys sought help and look at that glow up. Now his mum is on board too. It's like a fairy tale. Everyone deserves a second chance, and it seems like his family is really stepping up. Cheers to new beginnings and you're happily ever after. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.